Da, 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 da. Why, hello everyone. It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with a Veve OMI update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I love you all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, and subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon, smashing that super thanks button down below, super chats as well. There has been some concern from a couple of people, and we'll get into the OMI in a second, but right now we have to go over some of the Veve concerns, where you have somebody posting a quote over on Twitter or on X saying, the fact is that only Veve's only generating about 1 million per month. It's a little bit above that. It's like 1.8, but only generate about 1 million a month. And it's not sustainable to keep the lights on for an international company with over 100 employees. And then you have somebody else saying, this is too sad. Veve monthly active users are now even less than 15,000, making new lows every month. Won't be surprised if brands like Disney decided to not renew their license in the future and decide to go it alone at scale. There are people that believe that because of declining numbers, that means that this is the end. I am here to disabuse you of that notion. Because while a bunch of the fudders are crying to their mommies and they're beside themselves because they sold the bottom and they have that recency bias and they think, wow, nothing's going to get better. I've been fighting the battle of fucking Thermopylae, talking to whale after whale after whale, getting a bunch of users to onboard and spend mega amounts of money. And why I just purchased another 500,000 OMI to get up to 178. And by the time this month ends, I will be up over 180 million OMI. Do I have the money now? No. Will I get the money? Absolutely. Why? Because I'm a workhorse and I'm going to go and I'm going to get that money. And every one of you can, if you wanted to fill up your OMI wallets, if you wanted to fill up your bags, you could do that exact same thing. Most of you won't, just like most of you will not make it in crypto. The people that are here right now, live at 11 at night, sure, you are. A lot of you have your bags packed already. And this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to go buy OMI. I'm not telling you to go buy Veve, even though the whales I've been talking to have all been going and saying, yeah, partner statue, gold and silver Veve logo. Those are the top heckin' two. You have your Todds, you have your Risos, you have your Supermans, you have your Luke Skywalkers, and your Darth Vaders. Many of these are sub 100s that a lot of people get, but for the most part, you have for the most part, you have the sub 100s, and then you have the partners and the gold and silver Veve logo. That's what a lot of me and the whales have been talking about. And then you go and you take into account, yeah, Veve might be only grossing about 1.8 million per month, and it might be even less than that as the months go on up until the bull market. And sure, we could go and we can talk about, okay, the figure, even if we go super conservative at a million, which we know it's much more, figure it's about 4 to 500K after fees. A lot of fintech companies, they usually have between 70 and 80% margins. So figure the 30% that they have to pay to Apple, and the 70 to 80% after that, figure about 450, give or take, right? So figure with anywhere between 80 and 100 employees, we'll go with 100. Burn rates probably, I don't know, 8 to 10 million a year. Let's say it's 10. And then you have a burn rate of, let's say, a couple hundred a month. I mean, let's go over let's say 100 people, right? And they're all making 40K a year. It's about 4 million plus the licensors and fees. So again, super overestimating about 10 million, right? Which is, again, likely what they're not paying. Even if they had, which, like I've said before, they likely have, 20 plus, maybe like 25, but let's say super conservative at 20 million in the war chest. Okay. Well, they have 10 million that they have to burn each year. And then they have, let's say 4.8 million that they have that they're grossing, net profit. Okay. Well, then they're down about 5 million per year. You realize that without raising any extra money, they could do this for another 4 years, right? And that's without going and selling any of their tokens. I hope people realize that David and Dan, this is not their first rodeo. This is not their first company that they have gone on and they've had a baby and this is their company. This is their baby. This is not the first time that they've done this. They could easily, if they wanted, let's say with fintech, a lot of these companies, they come like 100, 100x of revenue, which by the way is this is not including the several $100 million that they had made over the last couple of years. A lot of that they probably burned through, but um, they could do this for years. They could literally be at these levels for 4 years and they would be fine. And that's without really selling any of their own personal wallets, which they could. We're not going to be at these levels for 4 years. We might not even be at these levels for 4 months. Again, just food for thought. Moving on. We have yep, around 6 years. Okay. There is different phases that a company goes through. They have their growing period, kind of what we're doing now. They have their period where they're making money, and it goes through cycles. They grew from 2018 to 2020, 2021. They started making money 2021, so 2022. This last year, 2020, all of 2023, declining revenue, declining users. It has been a growth period, and this growth period is something that will continue for a while. This is not a hyper revenue period. The hyper revenue period will likely be towards the end of the year into mid to late 2025 with that bull market. And then, in 2026, you'll likely go and have the next bear market again. But that's what you have. You have different periods, and this is what the company does. They have, if you think that they took their a couple $100 million that they made in 2021, 2022, and you think they just burned through that all, you guys are cracked. At least some of the fudders are anyway. Figure the valuation right now has to be several hundred million. I would say between 5 and 800 million. Where if they wanted to, they could just go boom, 80 million right there. Even at the lower end, 500 million, they could raise 50 million, sell 10%. They could sell 20%, raise 100 million. That's what you do. You go and you have a cap raise, and they still own majority of the company. This is easy, basic economics. Which again, having another 100 million, even at this burn rate like they are now, again, these guys are hiring new people every single month. I get it. They don't have a community manager yet. You know how many blockchain people they hired? You know how many people on the OMI side they hired? Discord mods, other people, and again, a lot of these are contractors. But still, anyone that's outside of New Zealand is going to be a contractor. You could have people from Google, Apple, Amazon go and head different companies from Malaysia, Indonesia, with Copilot at a 3x lever, and just they would all be considered contractors. Just because you're a contractor doesn't mean you don't work for the company. You of course work for them. Yeah, from tune, do that. So okay, that's what I said there. Any of that worst case scenario. Again, they've made a couple hundred million over the last few years. I do not believe that you go and you burn through that whole thing. David is very, very frugal. I know it's another word for cheap, but again, he's very frugal. And when you go and you take into account the fact that he's ran multiple successful businesses before, he's got to have some in the war chest. Again, my estimates are between 20 and 25 million. You guys can make your own estimates and let me know what that is. But all of that does not include the secondary market where they make a buttload of money elsewhere as well. And again, they're hiring people on a monthly basis. So let's get to the OMI and why I bought a little more. So I bought a little more just because I was very, very much pushed into this super bullish mood today after having a 3.5 hour podcast with Mr. MC1, Cool Mo, Mr. Dr. Rolexes, and Veve NFT Comics. We know him as Tony. And you have a really big, exceedingly hyper intelligent group that we just had. Cool Mo works for Apple. Mr. MC1 is basically retired, consults on a lot of things, universities. And then you have, I'm not 100% sure Dr. Rolex does, but clearly the man's successful. Same thing with Tony, the Veve Comics NFTs, asking incredible questions, had incredible insight. This was one of the highest IQ panels that I've ever put together. It happened just by accident, and that's just tend to be the times where it works. Them going off and saying, "Hey, this is exactly the same type of feel that I had." Thank you, Maxwell. Yeah. I got more OMI. You got more OMI today, so I got more OMI today, and we're gonna both get more OMI later. Thank you, Super Chat. When they had said that buying the Apple Vision Pro headset is the same feeling they got when buying the first iPhone, I 100% felt that. Last year I was in Vegas and I was a little, you know, having some fun. I saw this. I saw this exact thing happening. It's playing out pretty much exactly as I thought it would. Um, Vive's already on there right now, the Viveverse, and AR will likely be ready in the next 4 to 6 months, maybe even before then. Again, perfect timing for this bull market. So I went and, like Maxwell, he's up to like 113, 115 million OMI. I'm up to 178 now. I will get up to 180 before the end of the month. And then I'll get up to like 181, 182 by like March, even if I have to sell stuff, which is fine. I have no issue doing that. Akomi is up about 2% on the day to 000067. We've had 1.1 million in volume, so it is declining. Volume was like 2 million, 1.8, 1.7, down 1.1 now. Take a look at the rest of the market, how it compares. Bitcoin's down 0.4%, Ethereum's down 1%, BNB's down 1%, Solana down 1.4%, XRP's up 2%. Lido Stakes is down 1%, Cardano down 1.4%, Dogecoin down 0.4%. So there's most of the rest of this market in the top 10 outside of XRP are down. So shout out to Akomi for going and outperforming there a little bit. It's been doing fairly well the last few days. So I'll go and keep a good eye on the OMI, and we'll see where that takes us tomorrow. Again, a lot of whales that I've been going and talking to. Something that's really bullish is that they want to go and buy some Veve stuff. They want to go and say like, hey, you know what we have? We have our OMI bags. We have hundreds of millions. What things in Veve? And most of the things are partners and are those gold and silver logos. And I'll get more to that in a second. But let's go over some more of the stuff that we have from the Veve Fox. Oh God, where is she? Ooh, I can't go over that. Come on, Veve Fox, where you at? Where you at, girl? Was it yesterday? Yes, it was yesterday. Oh my troubles. All right. So again, the active users at 13,000. 13,900. So just under 14, but the 14,000 is down 18% from December. Where December we had a lot more drops. So you're likely going to have more users. New wallets, there were 267 new wallets that came on. That is down 30%. We had over 300, almost 400 in December. Market activity, 90,000 trades, 7,600 buyers, 7,900 sellers. There were 6 less drops in the Veve store in January. There were 27% less minters, 22% less tokens issued, meaning less people minting, 27% less tokens minted. Tokens minted ratio was 55%. And then you have, let me go and, do I have to go do this again? In case you missed it before, when I was talking with Sanjay and all of them, Sandbox and Decentraland have a total, both of them combined, of 1,210 monthly NFT trades. Veve has over 100,000. Sandbox and Decentraland have 640,000 monthly NFT volume. Veve has over 3 million monthly active wallets, 950 through Veve's 14,000. This is not even a hard call what you would rather invest in. I know what I'm investing in. I know what Dashi's investing in, and my whales are investing in. What should you guys invest in? I don't know. That's up to y'all. That's up to y'all financial advisors. But me and my whales are going with OMI. I don't think any of them have Decentraland's mana or Sandbox's sand. They have other high stuff that they're getting, and we'll get more of that. The kind of low cap, high return ones. But for the most part, a lot of their bags are packed with OMI. Moving on here. Okay. After that, we have a couple things to go over. We have on the 2nd, we had 50,000 Veve Gem purchases. We had 145 Marvel Mighty sell, 38 Disney Golden Moments, 32 Happy Tree Friends, and 31 Presidential Stamp Series sell. You had 881 collectibles, 1,693 comics sell, The highest comics were Avengers number 257, Uncanny X-Men 137, Amazing Spider-Man 293, Daredevil number 1, and the top four secondary market was Spider-Man 23, Flaky from the Happy Tree Friends, Tinkerbell Pencil, and Dark Robin number 1. You have a interesting. So Jim Lee, the Joker, is number 86 for 600. Is the cheapest sub 100. I had somebody ask me if that was a good buy. I told them I wouldn't get that right now, but if you buy that, then the next cheapest one is 900. Again, I wouldn't buy it right now, but if somebody went and said they could buy it, it was like, okay, well, you did a thing. Was it the worst thing you could do? No, but just because there's only one of something or there's only one available doesn't mean that others won't be available in the future. Because a lot of times they are. Mike H is awesome. Shout out to Janoy Evans. Janoy Evans is level 68 right now. He's going to be 69 soon. So everyone comment nice down below for the 69. We got that. Jeremiah. Okay. 11 years ago. Look at what Jeremiah Aoyang posted. He posted his glass hole picture where it's Google Glasses. And just going from that to going to what we experience today with the Apple Vision Pro, this multi-trillion dollar opportunity, and that's just done by Apple. You have Facebook's or Meta's Facebook. He was in Congress recently, and he's been in Congress a lot. You have some I don't really want to get too political with it. This was bipartisan. Senators and congressmen from both sides kind of going at him. There's kind of like a circuit court, kind of a lot of grandstanding. But this is something where Mark Zuckerberg already has like 40,000 people on his team going through every single post, going through every single thing, making sure there's no bad stuff on there and just stuff fall through the cracks. Absolutely. But this is the type of thing that I think Veve can grow to one day. I do believe they can be worth hundreds of billions of dollars and maybe in like 10 years or so be like $1 trillion company. I think a lot of companies in the next decade or 15 years can become those $1 trillion companies. I think Veve is one of those companies. Again, look at what Apple did the first 5 years, nothing. And look what it's done over the past like several years. It's done a lot. Same thing with Tesla. Tesla, I remember this so often, like 2018, like, oh, everyone was saying, listen, the cars go on fire, they can't get the productions right. Elon Musk is bipolar, he's sleeping in the factory, he's crazy. And what happened? They would 100, then they were not profitable. Well, why weren't they profitable? They were not profitable because they were growing. They were hiring people, they were building new gigafactories, they were building new cars, putting a bunch in R&D. Why is Veve technically not profitable these last few months and likely the next couple months? It's because they are hiring. Again, if they just stayed with their normal 10 to 15 people, that they would be profitable right now. But they are growing. They are getting licenses. They're growing as a team, hiring blockchain teams that they don't need to do. Like, you guys realize they don't need to do that. The Veve app is 100% successful on its own, but they're doing it, one, because they're financially incentivized to, because they have the most OMI out of anyone, maybe except for Dr. Profit. But they're doing this because this is how you grow as a company. When you press your advantage and other companies are literally going down, out of business, not paying their people, or at least downsizing, and Veve's growing, this is one of the most bullish things and I know people will be like, oh, well, yeah, this is unsustainable. You're right, it's unsustainable if they were going to do this for like 12 years and not grow a single user. But they're continuously growing, and they will have, I would say by April, that's when you see that inflection point of everyone coming back in. A lot of people coming back in already for the MCP points. You'll see that in February, where once we have a Grail drop, boom, you'll see that many more users coming back just for MCP points, not including staking, not including OMI2 accessory, or I'm sorry, MCP point to accessory. You're going to need to do OMI to bronze tickets in order to get more points for that. If you have a TLP, the London Police, if you have the entire set, you will get something that was in their Discord the other day. I'm not sure what you're going to get, but you will get something. Here's some things that we have had over the last couple months. I'd say year. Crafting, waitlist, digital drop with Funko, exclusive Veve branded physical comic book covers with Spider-Man and the Addiction, the browser app for mobile, Veveverse invites, OMI staking yielding MCP points, MCP point calculation and interface, video breakdowns for new drops, embedded YouTube videos and blog page link directly on the mobile app, enhanced search features, launch Veve blog, previously which was on Medium, removed marketplace reopening wait times, push notifications on mobile app, advertisement rollout, gold and silver logo utility, a bunch of times, hired many new employees, including OMI token community manager, profile URL, exporting AR photos directly from the app, drops with new brands including Lambo, Louboutin, Sesame Street, Astro Boy, Robocop, Monster Hunter, Stanley, Avatar, Ubisoft, and OMI utility began last month with bronze tickets rewards season 1. There was season 0 that we already had. Season 2 is going to be in April. That's literally 2 months away. Very, very easy to do. I want to make sure I am okay. All right, I have a couple more things. That should be it. There are new people getting beta access for Tengoku Senso. That is the game that is going to use OMI in their game for different upgrades for different things. That's one of the first utilities that OMI has. You also have that's not really worth going over. All right, one of my whales today. That I had dinner with. I won't show you exactly what he has, but I will show you the estimated value of 127,000. And that 127,000 is not including the sub 100 mints that he has. Big whale. He has 2.6 million MCP points. He's getting like 5,900 a day. He's level 81. Over 1,000 collectibles. Over 4,000 comics. Over 200 sets. And he has multiple artworks. Guy's an absolute mad lad with those. I should go over that at some point. Again, deflation. Yep. Okay. That'll be it. Oh, and then shout out to Masiek Raksa, who's level 60 today. So good job. So now I'm going to go and ask you guys to do something for me. I'm going to go to my YouTube channel. And I'm going to go to my live. And I'm going to ask you guys to go and smash that like button. Free way to help for the channel. And then we'll get to the comment. Laura says, perfect, just getting out of the theater. Very good. I hope you saw a good movie. Troy Perez says, do it. Like Shia LaBeouf. Comey Skywalker says, straight fire. Lagar says, it's like 4-hour stream, intermission, then more streaming. The Real Truman Show. Yeah, had a crazy night. Good times. The Veve Zombie says, now, please. I'm sorry, it was... yeah, okay, there you go. Veve Avatar says, hello, fam. Hello, Veve Avatar. Omar Kasaja says, hey, fam, what up? Wes says, meow. Thank you for being a member, Wes. Meow back. Jason Pena 2000 says, I'm here for this. I'm good, yeah, I'm feeling all right. Baby, I'm having the best happy night of mine. Bill Garner says, saw that post, I commented on it. Good man, Bill Garner. Gotta fight that fuck. BB Zombie says, popcorn. I love popcorn. Popcorn's so good. Is this the $1 million for the month net or gross? No, that's gross. After fees, I would say, and again, they're likely taking home a lot more than 1 million a month, but I would say with everything, even if we go down to just 1 million, it's likely, well, let's say super conservative. What is 700,000 times by, even at the lowest levels, it'd probably be like 490,000. But I even said, like, I went super low and said 400,000. But 490. But let's say 400 for this. Then one last chance. One last time. Of says tax. Somebody says, I went to the Apple Store to view the Vision Pro demo. One word. Amazing. Yeah, so a lot of people might think it's silly, but when Coolmo had gone on and said, listen, because Coolmo works with Apple, helping people get those headsets, where he said that, hey, people are crying. I understand. Like, this is one of the peaks of human innovation, and this kind of goes with like simulation theory. I won't get too into that right now, but again, with Jeremiah Aoyang's photo of him with the Google glasses, that was 11 years ago, and now we have something that's so intuitive, so something that's so incredibly fantastic. Where are we going to be in another 11 years? Most of us are already in our 30s. Where are we going to be in another 11 years, or in our 40s? People in the 40s be in their 50s. This is the right now peak human society for the good. Maybe only making 1 million is not yes, it is. Like I said, if you have minimum 20 million in the war chest, and you have, let's only say they're likely making much more than 500,000 gross, but let's say 400,000, because we're going super conservative and we're rounding down. I'll give you 1 second. OMI, oh my, thank you for the super chat, saying, always know you are appreciated, Chavez. Thanks for keeping us all informed and uplifted through this bear market. No problem. I live to serve. That is what I am doing. But let me get back to Wes here. So again, 400,000 over 12 months. That's 4.8 million out of, let's say, the 10 million. We're overestimating here. Let's say that 10 million burn. Okay, you have 5.2 million that they are in deficit each year. Okay, they can do that, and guess what? They are fine for 4 years because they have 20 something million in the war chest. So they could do that and not really get anything new. But obviously they won't even have to do this for another 4 months. They'll have that inflection point likely in April. They have some good stuff. Omi Child says, hey Randy, what's up, Omi Child? Maxwell, thank you so much for the beer money. Super chat. I hope Omi stays cheap for a bit longer. Yeah, me too. Me too. Okay, says, hello there. General Darth Chaos. Vivi Pooski says, great stream earlier today, Randy. Absolute beast. The future is bright for people who know where to find the light. Agreed, sir. Agreed, sir. Bill Garn says, partner force 2450. No heckin' way. Yahweh. All right. Let's take a look here. The Veve app keeps like signing me out. I keep signing back in. That's really annoying. I don't know when they're going to fix that. Maybe next update. We'll see. But we'll make sure we're 100% on here. And then we'll do partner statue. Yeah, 2450. And the next one after 2450 is 2700 or 2699. Let's take a look at what we have in the sub 100s there. The cheapest is 17,500. Not worth it right now. I would say like 9,000. 9,000 would be worth it for a sub 100. But yeah, cheapest at 17.5. Not really worth it right now, in my opinion. Prince Toby saying, with Veve doing music now, do you think we will get some weirder music like sea shanty? Oh, I would love that. I would love a sea shanty, and they're surprisingly large fan base. That's actually one of my favorite songs. Actually, there once was a ship that put to sea. The name of the ship was a Billy O.T. Winds blew up her bow, dip down, oh blow, my buddy boys blow. Oh, soon may the weatherman come. Again, one of my favorite things ever. But a large fan base for these wonderful pirate songs, and as a fan, I want to hear that as well. Drunken Irish Sailor sing the goated Drunken Sailor song. Oh God, I want to see that as well. So Carl says, at what point does your thesis change, Randy? It's not my thesis. It's the thesis of the company. If they go and they stop growing, if David stops having fun, if they start, kind of just giving in to their limbic systems and their, unearthly desires, and they kind of rest on their laurels, which they can rest on their laurels for years and be fine. But when David stops having fun, if they stop taking it like as seriously, if they stop getting licenses, if they stop trying hard, if they stop trying their very best, and again, they could go 80%, They don't have to go 100%. They can go 80% and coast for years, but they won't. They'll continue doing what they're doing, and they are working. Metamona has been very good at this. Yeah, I hope you guys realize that David and Dan are working like 18 hours a day. They are like not. They're barely sleeping. They're sleeping enough to be functionable, and luckily they're the type of people that can function on not a lot of sleep. It would be that, or it would be it would be that. Those are the things that really have to change. Wes says, "Come on, bruh. Maybe a $1 trillion company, and they haven't even been profitable. They've been profitable for years. They haven't been profitable the last like couple months, but they have been profitable for years. It's only the last couple months that they haven't been profitable, and a lot of people are taking the last couple months and see, Vive's not profitable. It's unsustainable. They can't do it. Again, they would be profitable these last few months if they haven't been growing and hiring and getting more licenses. But because of that fact that they are, now they're not profitable. Same thing happened with Tesla in 2018. They were getting new gigafactories, new cars, more R&D, and that's why they weren't profitable. If they were to stick with one thing, they would have been profitable long ago. So yeah, the Unreal Chandy Reve says, imposter. After a long hiatus, I returned to see your subscriber count has barely increased, but still over 9,000. It's over 9,000. I love that thing so much. Here's Pain. Thank you for being a member. Randy, so when OMI hits exchanges, there will be more than just Veve? What game is that? Hitting multiple narratives? Yes, you do have that. You have the digital collectibles narrative, you have the metaverse narrative, and you have the AI narrative that Veve is going to incorporate as well. You have all of those things. Again, all of them well, the digital collectibles multi-billion-dollar opportunity, that's fine. Metaverse is multi-trillion-dollar opportunity, and so is AI. And those things are going to be what's really going to rock us to the moon. And again, people do crazy things in crypto. People do crazy things where things that, again, I think 8 to 10 cents is a good base case. And a lot of people, they kind of act like logically, which you have to have a good base of that at first principles. But you have to also understand that a lot of people are going to be first-time investors, and they're going to do what most people in crypto do. They're going to FOMO and buy high, and they're going to hodl, and they're going to buy a little bit more on the way. Like there's going to be a lot of people that exit liquidity. Now, obviously, I'm not going to hold everything until 10 billion, or I'm sorry, 10 cents. I'll start to sell at like 1.2 cents, give or take. But yeah, that's Veve could really not do a thing, and it'll like 10 to 20x, just from that. Jim Pang says, Randy, can you suggest where to store an OMI bag? And you have a bunch of different options. You have trust wallets, which is what I use a lot. You have ledgers. You could just have a MetaMask that you just don't give, you don't connect to anything. But trust wallets, ledgers, MetaMask, they don't connect to anything. You could even store it in the Veve app, the Akomi secure wallet. There's a bunch of different places that you can store it. What is the best? I don't know. What is the best? You have to go through every scenario, every variable. But trust wallets and ledgers are generally pretty safe as long as you kind of know what you're doing and you're not stupid about it. And again, OMI, oh my, thank you so much for the super chat saying, please know you're appreciated. I do appreciate that. Thanks for keeping us all informed and uplifted through this bear market. I mean, I have to be. Like, there's, the whale that I was talking to today, this afternoon, tonight, is like, hey, I watched almost everything you do. And I appreciate it because there's a lot of people that go on there's a lot of people that go through their lives and they're working. Like a lot of my whales, like, what do you think they do? Like, they just sit at home all day? No, they're super successful business owners. They don't have time to go through Discord for the sweepstakes and see the announcements. They don't have time to go through Twitter, all of the posts that Veve makes, Akomi makes, all of the fandom makes. These are the stuff that I don't even have to go through either. Like, you think I go and sit there and scroll through it? Sometimes I do, but most times it's people just sending stuff to me. Did you see this? Did you hear this? Did you take a look at this? Hey, let me know what you think of this. and information just flows to me, and I happen to go and just report on it. But I do it on a channel that's people talk about the highlights, but there's not a lot of people on here. There are a few, but not a lot of people that have that experience that invest in tech in general, not including fintech, not including just have been through the highs and the lows and have financially been punched in the face before. For these last couple of years, it's the first time that a lot of people are getting financially punched in the face. And as Mike Tyson says, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. And that's true. But luckily, I've been here before. I've been punched in the face with Tesla. I've been punched in the face with pandemic. I've been punched in the face a lot in general with the boxing. So this is nothing new to me. I can put on my glasses and pretend like I've been here before because I have. And just a lot of other of the YouTubers there, a lot of them are young. A lot of them are, kind of fall victim to like a couple of the trading Telegram groups, which a lot of them were there the last bull market. Almost none of those are there right now. They post their gains in the bull market. They do not post their gains or calls in the bear market because a lot of them lost a lot of money. Yeah, that's just trying to keep something different. Well, I'm trying to be myself, but also, hey, this is the news that a lot of people just are not getting because they can't post every day because a lot of YouTubers just they have full-time jobs as well. But on top of that, it's just saying, hey, here's the news and here's how to interpret, or here's how I'm interpreting it, and here's a bunch of different ways. And I'll do that until there are other people that are doing that as well. And then I'll either step aside and let them take it, or I'll keep doing my thing. I'll let you all know. Because perhaps OMI is being kept away from exchanges on purpose, trying to make it available on web app and only layer 2 before other exchanges? Question mark. I don't see a problem with that. Safer seems like the EU way. It's very possible. You have, you definitely don't want to post on exchanges in a bear market, and you likely don't want to go on a super big exchange first. If we have Coinbase or Binance as our first exchange, and then we go back down, you likely want some smaller exchanges first, then like something like KuCoin, then some more small exchanges, then Kraken, then some other small exchanges, and then Crypto.com, then some small exchanges, and then Binance, and then Coinbase and all that. So, you want to really spread those out. And again, there's got to be at least one person on that blockchain team. Figure there's 6 to 12 people on there. That's going to be like, oh, hey, this is what we've noticed. And Dave's probably saying like, okay, do that. That's what we hired you for. Sandbox says, even though the Vision Pro is so amazing, I plan to get the version 2 when it comes out next year. Don't usually get any new tech that just came out. Waiting for any bugs and hopefully a lighter version 2. Yes, that's smart. Prince Toby says, can't wait to see the knockoff version of Apple Vision Pro Android eyesight. That might happen. Who knows? We shall see. Walrus King says, yo, Randy. What up, codes? Stocks Crypto says, I trade sleep for study. Always something to learn in the market. I'm like a 3 or 4 hour per nighter. Oh my God. That is hard to do. Were you News Now marijuana before you changed stocks? Anyway, that's hard to do, and try to get some sleep. That helps. Bill Gardner says FOMO is real. It 100% is. I'm trying to get on Bill Gardner's level. He got like 8 million OMI the other day. Mad lad. Jimmy Pang, what up? O'Neill Maya says, have funds hitting in early March. Hope OMI stays low. It's gonna fill my bags one last time. Yeah, same here. I'll have a couple of buy orders in March as well. Again, I'll have another one mid-February and another one late February, where I'll buy, I'll get like 1 million each. So I'll probably get up to 180. And then, in March, I'll try to get a couple million more if I can, even if I have to sell some stuff. Prince Tebe says, why do you think the Midwest is 10 years back in time? Been to Ohio so many times and can confirm it's 20 years behind. Kids still play outside. It's wild. Back in and this is years ago, like 2011, 2012. Now, I have friends in Ohio. I have a lot of friends in Ohio, but these first group of friends that I'm talking about, they were in the Tiffin and Gibsonburg area. The internet was eh. Even on the East Coast, sometimes the internet was in 2011, 2012, but there it was, you might as well have not had internet. Um, there was no hustle and bustle of the city. Everyone was kind of moving at their own pace, and I went on a run. Um, there once as soon as I got there, and as soon as I got back to my friend's house, oh yeah, somebody from their truck. So yeah, who's this brown guy running here? Because it was a small town, and like the whole town knew who you were before you even introduced anyone. I was like, oh wow, I didn't expect that. Um, you have this really interesting. It's like a time loop. It is like going back like 10 years in the past. It reminds me of like the mid 2000s where you have fashion, hitting the city. You hit New York City in like the mid 2000s. Suffolk County on Long Island would not get that fashion for like 6 to 8 months later. It was wild to see. Back in 2012, when Hurricane Sandy hit, tech was wiped out. The cell phone towers were down, electricity was down. You had nothing, no cash, no credit, no like nothing that could be done. You had some cash. If you had some cash, you were fine. No gas. And for the first time in what seemed like, I don't know, 15 years, 10 years, 12, whatever, we had to go to our friends' houses and knock on their door. Some of my friends were still living with their parents. Hey, can Johnny come out and play? Um, that was that was fun. I mean, it was hard. We were in the area where everything got hit, but everyone was like okay. Our houses weren't destroyed really. My friend Johnny Potts was, but um, so yeah, going back in time is fun. I was in Louisiana last year, and it's not 10 years behind. It's like 12 years behind, like 15 years behind. So I understand. But I have a couple friends in Dublin, Ohio, and they are very tech. They're very good. Says, according to your research, what's Vivi's targeted age group? In your opinion, what age group would you target for success? I think they kind of did the, throw as much as I can against the wall and see what sticks. Because you have Cartoon Network, you've had stuff like old school Alice in Wonderland, you've had Steamboat Willie. But really, what a lot of the things that I saw was, some stuff from RoboCop. That you had, not Jango Fett, Boba Fett. A lot of like the 80s. So people in like their 40s, that like kind of grew up in that era. They're just like, yo. And I could show you just on the YouTube analytics, what that is. The analytics of, and again, this is just my YouTube page, and this is just my audience, which is, be advised, mostly women. Or I'm sorry, it's actually close to 100% male now. That's insane. Um, but 28.7% of people that watch me are 25 to 34. 48.9, so almost half of the people that watch me are 35 to 44. And then 19.9% or 20% is 45 to 54. So most of the people are 25 to 54. And that's why I went over that the other day, and even today, that this is what we could use. Again, people born in the 40s, 50s, 60s, um, like 90% of those people are married. Then you get to the 70s, and it's like, okay, well, like 80% of those people are married. Okay, what about people born in the 80s? 60% of those people are married. Now this is where it gets interesting. Okay, you could be born in the 80s and still be in your 30s, right? You can be born in 89, you'll be in your 30s. You could be in your 40s, but in the 80s and that, later Gen X, if you're not married, you don't have, especially for men, you don't have anyone telling you, don't spend money on that. You don't have money for that. Like you don't have that nagging. And women are beautiful, majestic creatures, and a lot of times they can make your life better. And they bear your children, and they run the house. And I love people. But a lot of the times when I was in Pokemon, 95% of my clients, why they couldn't collect more was because they had a wife that told them no more collecting, whether it was because of money or because of space or because there's other things that they wanted. Like when men don't have that partner, when they don't have that wife, what are they going to do? They're going to spend their money on what they want to spend their money on. So you have those people in their late 30s, early 40s, in the 80s that are really hitting their peak. You don't really hit peak income until you're about 40 years old. But when they're late 30s, early 40s, they're hitting that peak. That is the, oh my God, that is the key. That is the absolute key. Give us some Rocky, give us some Alien versus Predator, give us some of that. Oh my God, anything from like the late 80s, early 90s, we're going to buy the fudge out of. And then you have, 90s babies like myself. People born in the 90s, literally 30% of us are married. I'm not. But you have this large swath of men, and obviously there's a lot of women in this community as well. That's going in and they're just like, you know what, some people eat their happiness, some people drink their happiness. How do some people go? Why are video games so addictive? Video games are so addictive because, and it's easy at first. Whenever you start any Pokemon game, red, yellow, blue, gold, silver, crystal, ruby, sapphire, emerald, it does not matter. Every single Pokemon game that you ever played in your entire life in the mainstream series, you pick a Pokemon, your rival picks a Pokemon, and it is super easy to win that first battle. And what happens after you win that first battle? You grow a level. You don't know anything. You couldn't possibly know anything about the game. Oh, I grew a level. This is easy. That flips that switch, that dumps that serotonin into your brain that says, this is a good feeling. What's also a good feeling? That's why video games are so addictive. In the beginning, you grow a lot of levels really quickly. Makes that serotonin dump. Why is Veve so easily addictive? Because you buy something, ooh, I got it. Oh, I get a new level. Congratulations. Ooh, I got a new set. Congratulations. Oh, I have this. I could post it. So not only do you get that instant gratification as soon as you buy something, and you get this little thing and it's adorable, you get to go and post it on Facebook and Instagram and on Twitter. And you have people going like, oh, they like it. Ooh, I got a lot of likes. Ooh, this person said nice. Ooh, Randy Chavez commented. Oh my God, this is great. You get multiple ways of getting that gratification just from one purchase. And you can go and do that multiple times over and over and over, especially for these 90s babies that, again, only 30% of us are married. Boom. This is going to be super addictive for people in their late 20s through like early 40s. And again, that's shown in the YouTube analytics over here. Again, it's shown right there. Most people in that 35 to 44 range give us stuff from the 80s and 90s. That's where a lot of their bread and butter is right now. What should they focus on? They should focus more on kids or younger people, teens, late teens, early 20s, young adults to adults. Get that Pokemon, get that Dragon Ball Z, get that anime. It is so good and super important. Yogar saying, I was playing outside today with my kids in Ohio. Get that bird. Okay. And Toby says, exactly. Oh, exactly. The KuCoin isn't licensed in USA since almost a year ago. Okay. So maybe no KuCoin. Maybe Kraken, Crypto.com, maybe a couple of other ones, and then the big ones. Prince Toby says, wait, Randy, go back. You missed a very important message of mine. It was between Walrus King and Stock's crypto message. All right, hang on. Between Walrus King and Stock's crypto message. All right. You know what? There is none in between. Well, I mean, I saw that one. I commented it would be very nice, but there's nothing in between those two. And then I answered that one as well. So if I missed it or if it didn't show up, just comment again, and I will. Jimmy Pangs is wondering, do you own a partner's golden moment? I do not. Even though I'm pretty certain that partner statue will go from the 2450 it is right now, and it'll be like $50,000. I'm just really more focused on OMI. OMI is, and again, like partner statue is going to be one of the best ROIs in my opinion. But collect what you like. I think Mickey's great. He's cool, and Walt Obviously, got to respect the man for building what he built. That's he did the impossible. He did many impossible things. He's a little anti-Semitic too, but you know what? He did many impossible things. And you have but again, I'm not like, if I were to go and be at Disney and see like a statue of him, I would feel it. I respect it. I would feel the presence. But I'm not like nostalgic for him, and I'm not really nostalgic for Mickey. Did I have I learned how to play Sorcerer's Apprentice on the violin when I was younger. Um, I seen some things with Mickey in it, but I'm more nostalgic for Luke Skywalker. I'm more nostalgic for Superman. I'm more nostalgic for Deadpool. Like those are the things that I like more. And is Deadpool gonna outperform Partner Statue? Is Dogpool? Is any of the Marvel Mighties gonna outperform Partner Statue? But likely not. Like 90 something percent, no. Um, Maybe some certain random mints that I could get, yeah, maybe sure. But you know, Partner Statue is gonna outperform a lot. But again, collect what you like. I'm gonna make my money with OMI. And that's just, again, I think it's one of the best ones on the app. But I don't have it because I'll make my money elsewhere. Um, and I think again, if it was all about ROI for me, I would likely not have many. I would have maybe a couple gold logos, and maybe that's about it. I would probably, most of the stuff should be in OMI, but because how can you be Mr. Veve? How can you be Veve's main YouTuber without being a master collector? How can you be Veve's main YouTuber without having more OMI than most everyone else, and without having a master collector of the top 3%, than anyone else? Like, you can't. I would not be fit to try to claim that title, even though there's many other people that do incredible content, arguably better content than what I put out. I just do it most consistently. I would not feel right about going and talking about this every day had I not been close to a master collector, or had I not had this much fun. I just believe I would not be fit to. So as the builder on we're about to Ohio. Oh, small world. Back. Jason Pena, thank you for being a member. Saying Randy may derail. Super curious. Omi Moons. How would you re-enter the physical Pokemon TCG? Okay, so generally when collecting, you want to go with the most expensive item first. So I would re-get back my Trophy Kangaskhan PSI 10. I would want to get a Super Secret Battle promo, and I would want to get a Trophy Pikachu. The third place one, I'll show you. There's different ones. I'll show you which ones there are. Trophy Pikachu. Oh, okay. So they actually only have the third one. That's weird. So there's three of them. There's first place, second place, and third place. And the third place is the one I want, because look at how happy he is. He's so happy with it. Like, oh my god. Um, that's going to cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars, but I need it. And then I wouldn't get a full gym. I wouldn't get a full gym challenge set. I would get the hollows, and I would get multiple Blaine's Arcanines and Blaine's Charizards, and maybe Giovanni's Persians and Giovanni's Nidokings. Um, because I love those. Those are like my favorite. And then I would get Erica's Venusaur, a couple of them. I would go and get, what else would I get? I would just get a normal Venusaur. So I would just get a lot of the big stuff, the heavy hitters. I'm sorry. He said, "Yep, I wouldn't really get any seal. I wouldn't really get any sealed stuff. Sealed product is really great, but I would just be worried about fakes. Even though I'm very, very, I can tell like better than most people if that's fake or not. I just wouldn't want to. I like to see my stuff. Sid Wax first edition base set booster box is my chase. Yo, get that bread. Nostalgia at its best. It is really good. Because wow, Randy. I'm in Louisiana, right? Not sure what backwards part you went to. 12 years, bro. I have automation in my house. I guarantee you've never seen. You're probably right. I went into Abbeville. So Abbeville, Louisiana is the sticks. I don't know if you're still here now, so I'll message you over on the X. Um, are you big A over on the X as well? Oh, I don't know if you are. I don't think you are. Let me type in big and see what comes up. It's not gonna. Oh God, no, that's not it. If I do people, no, you're not that person. Give me a message. But it was Abbeville, Louisiana. Abbeville, Louisiana was very, very backwards. Jimmy Bangs was wondering if you own Partner Statue, and if you had 2,000 gems, you buy one. Well, Partner Statue is actually 2,400, 2,450 right now. But here's the thing. Partner Statue will likely outperform Riso, but Riso, when you sell that, you have 2.5% sell. Partner Statue, you have 8.5% sell fee. So to me, it'll be much more of a not as big of a hit, even though you might not get as many gains. You're likely going to go and get again. To me, that's gonna hurt less, paying 2.5% as opposed to the 8.5%, and then you have whatever cash out fees there are. But let's take a look at the Riso and see what he's at. He was at 1,000. He likely hasn't really moved. Yeah, he's 1,000, 1,080. That's what it's at. Stidwax's partner is 100%, and that's fair. It's probably the right choice for ROI. This paint is at Stidwax. I have unlimited base set, art set, sealed PSA 10. Closet I will get onto. Ooh, closest I will get into. Get that bread. Planet Profit, what's going on? How's it going, fam? Jeremy Olson says, I'm over the hill. Since 2021. Same. In a couple weeks, I get to my 3-year anniversary with Veve. So it says, women are such wonderful creatures. They are. They are majestic creatures. But I had to say that because what I was about to say were like, it wasn't really like kosher. It wasn't, I don't want to be considered like a, whatever. So I had to. You should voice a Planet Earth documentary. Maybe one day I will. Oh, it says Jason Pena 2000. That's dope. Congrats. Meow, meow. Ooh, Bill Gardner's north of Cleveland. That's nice. I'm about 20 minutes south of Cleveland, mate. Nice. Stan says, if Pokemon is out of reach, should Veve focus on Power World this time? No. 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 Power World is likely going to be hit with slapped with a bunch of lawsuits. Apparently it looks fun. Apparently it's taking over. But no, I would not focus on that. Prince always says, oh no, now everyone messenger is being deleted for some reason. No. Regardless, that's back. Bruh. You've been to Angelo's in Lakewood? Best pizza on the planet? Might have to go there. Big A says, Abbeville is Biffy. Yes, 12 years behind. Checks out. I told you. Yep. Totally. So it's at Bill Gardner. Not too often lately, but yeah, Lakewood has some great food. Also awesome karaoke at Corky's. Always a fun crowd. Gotta love it. That's the last of the comments. I'll go through a couple of other things before I bounce. Being live for this hour has been really fun. Lex Friedman says, if Tucker Carlson interviews Putin, that's great. We need more conversation, not less. I love Lex Friedman so much. He's such a good dude. He's the man. See if there's any comments on the YouTube studio. I don't think there is. There is not. Let's go to messages, do the Telegram. Well, I have messages. I'm just not checking them right now. Let's check on OMI. See what OMI's doing. I will be going for the Star Wars drop tomorrow. I don't think I'll go live for it, but in my PFP on Twitter, trying to get a mint for Solmarm's NFT. Still big time, big A there. Oh, very good, very good. Laura says, Tucker Putin interview would be incredible. I would like that as well. Again, OMI finishing at about 1.8% on the day. That is it for me. Everyone, please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Bye. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. I don't think it changes much, but do you think they have Pokemon? They're going to get them, or no one is. I would give it 60% chance that Veve gets Pokemon. So it is a dice roll. It is weighted dice, but yes, I would say 60% chance that they would have them, or they would get them. Sorry, Prince Toby. Good night, everyone. Good night, guys. Bye. Meow, 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 meow. Subscribe. Thank you for the super chats. I love you. Bye. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow.